Hey mate, what's up? So today I'm going to teach you about the perfect diet that you can eat to not only lose fat, but to keep the muscle that you've worked so hard to build. Because over the past couple months, I have lost quite a lot of body fat. I'm trying to lose body fat. I'm going on holiday in the summer, so I want to try and get a six pack. I'm not at a six pack yet, but I've lost a lot of fat from where I was because I went on a big bulk in the winter and now I'm trying to shred down the fat. But my lifts at the gym have gone up, right? I'm hitting PRs. I feel like I might even be building a little bit of muscle, but if I'm not building muscle, I'm certainly keeping it because I'm lifting more than I ever have. And I track all my lifts that I do at the gym on an app that I've got on my phone called Strong. And that's how I can track progressive overload. And yeah, I did a video like this a couple days ago. And I talked about more about the training and different techniques on how you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time, or if it's even possible to do that. And I discussed that in that video. This video is going to be focused way more on the diet aspect of things, because let's face it, a lot of the way you're going to look and how you're going to feel is based on your diet, and the results that you're going to get from the gym and fat loss and muscle gain, etc., is all going to be from your diet and what you eat. So this video is going to be from my experience. This is what I personally am eating at the moment, diet wise, not just for muscle building and fat loss, but also for like productivity and like running this YouTube channel and like being able to think more clearly and things like that. So I'm going to get straight into it. Hopefully some of this advice can help you. So let's start off with the first meal of the day, breakfast. This is an easy one for me because I don't have it, right? I skip breakfast every day except for Sundays, right? So that's tomorrow. I'm filming this on a Saturday. So tomorrow I'll have something like in the morning food wise. That's kind of like a bit of a refeed day for me. So, but yeah, every other day I don't have breakfast, or I pretty much try and avoid it most days. There might be a couple days, like every other week or something, where I kind of have breakfast or something, like get a sandwich or something. But yeah, mainly like 80% of the time not having breakfast. Why? Because I like to intermittent fast. And for me, intermittent fasting is done easiest in the morning. So from when I wake up, I don't eat any food until about 1 or even sometimes up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So why do I do this? Well, it's called time restricted feeding. And it's been shown in studies that the number one way to basically lose fat is, one, you can be in a calorie deficit. Okay, you need to do that. But the second thing on top of that, that makes it way more likely that when you're in that calorie deficit, you're going to lose fat rather than muscle, is intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. And I heard this from an Andrew Huberman podcast when he talked about fasting. And yeah, I think this has been basically the biggest thing as to why I've managed to lose fat and keep the fat off, is time restricted feeding, right? Just not eating lots throughout the day and constantly spiking my insulin, just waiting to eat until later on in the day. So that's the first thing that I do. And when I do have breakfast, what would I have? Like for tomorrow on a Sunday, for example, when I'm having a bit of a refeed day, what would I eat for breakfast? What I would usually have is either an omelette, so like maybe 3 or 4 eggs in the omelette with some ham, right? Chop up the ham, put it in the eggs whilst I'm whisking it around, and then put that in a pan, cook that, right? That's an omelette. Or sometimes I'll just have eggs on their own with some like bacon. Sometimes I might even have some carbs, right? Like some like pancakes or something like that. Because when I'm having this breakfast on a Sunday, I'm not too strict on a Sunday. That's something you need to understand. So Monday to Saturday, I'm like quite strict, tracking my calories, being very strict with my diet. And then Sunday, I honestly just kind of enjoy myself a little bit more, eat some carbs, maybe even have some sugar, which again, isn't the most optimal way. If you wanted to probably lose fat faster than I've lost fat, or even, build more muscle than I've built and things like that, and keep more muscle, then you could probably just like have this like very strict diet regimen that I have, but every day. But for me, I kind of just want to chill out on Sundays, enjoy Sundays a bit more. So I have breakfast most Sundays and eat whatever I want, right? Okay, so that's breakfast out the way with. I think like what I do for breakfast, which is basically not eating anything, is basically the most important part of how I'm losing fat currently. So that is, if you're gonna get anything from this video, definitely take that advice and do intermittent fasting if you are looking to lose fat. The second meal of the day, right, lunch, this is when I break my fast, right, which usually would be breakfast. But for me, this is about lunchtime. So about 1 o'clock usually, sometimes as late as 3 o'clock. And what will I usually eat? Well, usually I try and eat red meat, right? And one thing you need to know for this meal, the lunch meal, is I don't have any carbs. So unless it's a Sunday, okay? But most of the days I don't have any carbs. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. The first reason is, the main reason for me why I don't have carbs is because when I eat carbs, it makes me very slow. and makes me unable to think. It makes me want to just sit in my bed and go to sleep. It makes me quite tired. And running this YouTube channel, trying to be productive, got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of work to do. I'm building a school community at the moment. That's taking up a lot of my time. So I'm very busy and I kind of just need to be focused. And realistically, I'm filming this on a weekend, so it's like midday now. I've not had anything to eat yet, but realistically, during the week, Monday to Friday, I work a full-time job. So this YouTube channel isn't my full-time job. I work a full-time job. And realistically, I can't really do a lot of the filming, the recording, the editing and things that I need to work on for this channel, for this business until later on in the day. So if I eat carbs throughout the day, by the time I get home at like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm pretty burnt out if I've eaten carbs. So, but if I don't eat carbs, I find that I can come home after work and I'm still switched on, still ready to work. So this is one of the biggest reasons why I don't have carbs for lunch. If you don't have like a goal like that, where you need to be sharp and thinking, you know, throughout the day or in the afternoon, then you can have carbs for lunch. And what carbs would I suggest you have? Well, I'd suggest avoiding pasta and things like that. And like breads, try and avoid pasta and bread. If you're gonna have any carbs, try and have some like noodles or rice, like kind of clean carbs like that, or maybe like white potato or something, but just avoid like pasta and things like that. But what I would usually eat for lunch, this is what I would have. I would have no carbs. I would have 4 or 5 eggs and I would have a piece of steak or some red meat, like burgers. I've been eating a lot of venison recently, which is deer, which is quite cheap actually. I thought it'd be expensive, but it's pretty cheap. Buy that, just fry it in a pan, maybe some cheese with that or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then sometimes I'll put some walnuts on the side to get some of those like extra vitamins and stuff that you can get from walnuts. But yeah, it's mainly just red meat and eggs. Very simple. I have a very simple diet. I like cooking, you know, I'm pretty good at cooking, but I try and keep my cooking and meals like prep like very minimal, right? So I'm just literally trying to cook everything in the pan, eggs in the pan, meat in the pan, just fry things, right? I don't mess about with like any crazy like sauces or anything like this, right? Just keep it very simple and it makes it easier to track then. I use MyFitnessPal to track all of this, like all the calories and things. So the less ingredients I can use, the better. And yeah, that's what I'll have for lunch. Okay, and then for my last meal of the day, I honestly will usually have something very similar to what I had for lunch, right? So like red meat, or if I've already had red meat in the day, I might have some fish or something like that, or some salmon or haddock, because I really like fish. I know a lot of people don't like fish, so that's fine. If you don't like fish, don't eat it. Maybe have some chicken or something like that, because maybe I don't know if it's good to have like red meat for lunch and dinner for your last meal. Maybe like have some white meat that's a little bit less fatty, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll just literally have meat again with eggs, and I'll probably put a bit of veg with it this time, because now that it's like the end of the day, I've probably done all the recording I need to do, all the editing, so I can have a bit of veg with it just to get some of them vitamins and things. So I'll just literally have broccoli. Tender stem broccoli is pretty much the only veg I eat, realistically. I just find it easy to digest. It's easy to cook as well. I don't do any crazy veggies or anything like that. I just eat, that's pretty much it. And yeah, for like an example of something that I'll have for dinner is like maybe some salmon, fry that in a pan with some broccoli next to it, which you just put in the pan and then put a bit of water in the pan, lid on top, and it all steams up and it like steams the broccoli with like 4 eggs. All right, that's my tea. And there's like 3 ingredients there, super easy to track. You're pretty much not gonna get the calories like wrong for it or anything. And that's it. Like that, it sounds a bit silly, but that's literally all I have for dinner. It's just super simple. And you might be thinking like, well, where's the carbs? You've not had any carbs for the day. And truthfully, for a lot of my days, I don't have any carbs other than like the broccoli, which is barely any. Just because, yeah, I don't really want to eat them. They do make me quite lethargic and tired, and honestly I've got a history of eczema, and I've noticed in the past 5-6 months I've pretty much been on keto, right, throughout most of the week except for like Sunday. My eczema's cleared up massively, right? My eczema's gone down a lot. It used to be very bad, and that was when I was eating like pasta, rice, bread, like, you know, that kind of thing, and stopped eating that kind of stuff, and yeah, my eczema's improved. Well, whether that is because of being on keto, I don't know, but yeah, that's the reason why I don't eat carbs, and it makes me be able to work better, perform better on this, like, you know, business that I'm trying to build up and stuff. But in terms of like fat loss and, you know, keeping my muscle, the main things I'd give you with like this diet and what you're going to do for your diet is protein, right? So protein is going to be the most important thing about like keeping your muscle and putting your body into a state of burning fat rather than burning muscle. Because remember when we did that like fasting, I talked about fasting at the beginning, I don't have anything for breakfast. That's the stage when you've fasted and you're in a massive deficit, that your body's going to be looking for energy to take, to actually fuel you, right? And it's going to be taking that from fat, but it's also going to take it from muscle. But the way that we bias our body towards just taking it from fat and not from muscle is the amount of protein we eat. So if we have a lot of protein and, you know, our training's on point, our sleep's on point, then our body's going to keep most of that muscle, and it's going to mainly just take it from fat. If you're not training or going to the gym or anything, then this diet actually, like, even if you have the perfect diet, your body's still going to take like muscle away from you to use for energy if you're in a deficit, because you haven't placed any resistance on that muscle. Your body doesn't need to keep it. So that's really important. You need to train if you want to keep your muscle. But yeah, protein is important. So how do I calculate how much protein I need to eat? I take my body weight in kg and I just times it by 2, right? Simple, 2 to 2.2. So for me, I weigh 74 kg. In fact, well, I actually weigh 73 now when I weighed myself this morning. So 73 kg, that's 146 grams of protein. That's simple. That's how much I need to eat today. So yeah, I've not had anything to eat today yet, by the way. It's 2 o'clock now in the afternoon. So I've not eaten anything. So after I film this, or maybe a couple more videos, I'll break my fast and I'll probably literally just have, yeah, maybe some eggs, and I've got some salmon downstairs. So that's like lunch. So that's like an example of what I'd eat. I won't have any carbs because I need to edit this video I'm recording this afternoon. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be sharp and on it for that. If I go down and have like bread now after recording this video, or rice or pasta, I guarantee I'll eat that and I'll just be very tired afterwards and I won't feel like editing. Like, this is just what happens to me. It might not be like that for you, but I just won't feel like working and being productive. And a lot of the time I actually get enjoyment from this, like recording videos and editing them and things and uploading them. I do like doing it all and like making the thumbnails and everything. So if I just eat pasta now, I won't be productive. And when I'm not being productive, I genuinely just get like a bit, like I feel a bit shit. So I need to do it. So yeah, that's the main reason why I don't have carbs. And yeah, that's basically the diet that I'm on right now, right? And it's allowed me to keep my muscle because I'm hitting PRs at the gym, like on the bench press and all the different exercises. I'm literally hitting PRs regularly when I go to the gym. So I'm definitely not losing muscle. So I'm certainly keeping the muscle that I built over the winter time, and I'm losing fat, right? I literally can see in the mirror, I can see on the scales that I'm losing a little bit of weight, but it's mainly staying the same. I think that's because, yeah, I've kept most of my muscle. So hopefully you could take this diet and maybe edit it to be like your style and things like that. But the main takeaways are: try and fast in the morning, don't eat a fuck ton of carbs, and make sure you hit your protein goal. And that's really about it. The next section of this video, I'm just going to briefly talk about kind of the overarching, biggest, most important thing within this diet that you need to understand. And that's that I'm not eating any processed foods. So pasta, bread, right? This kind of thing, cereals, like don't eat any of that shit. Why? Well, because if you look on the back of the food packet that you buy, you should be able to identify every single ingredient that's in there. So when you buy some steak, you look at the ingredients and it's just beef, right? It's steak, right? Or eggs, it's just eggs, right? Everything you eat should just be itself, like that ingredient. This is called whole foods. Why is it important that we do this? Because, well, there's a lot of studies coming out, and I'm a strong believer that eating a lot of processed foods, one, is going to lead to you gaining weight, gaining fat, and two, it leads to a lot of health problems like diabetes, cancer, things like that. Now, I'm not saying like if you eat processed foods, you're definitely going to get cancer, right? I'm not saying that, but 90% of the stuff that you eat throughout the day, throughout every day of the week, should be whole foods: broccoli, fish, meat, eggs. You know what I mean? Like when you buy some bread, look on the ingredients on the back. If there's more than like 4, 5, 6, 7 ingredients, then it's not actually bread. It'll have preservatives in it. It's going to have artificial chemicals in it. It's going to have all kinds of different things in it. And trust me, I think one of the biggest reasons that people struggle to lose fat is because they just think about calories in and calories out. And when you just think like in terms of calories in and calories out, but you don't take into account what you're eating, and you're eating a bunch of chemicals, a bunch of artificial preservatives, E-numbers, sugar, then that is basically why you can't lose fat, because you're eating the wrong kind of shit that your body can't really turn into like muscle or anything, and can't really burn properly, and it just goes straight to your fat stores. So the biggest piece of advice I can give you is just eat whole foods, right? Since I've basically stripped out all this shit from my diet and I've just been eating whole foods, and it's very simple foods, very easy to track. Once I started doing that, started losing fat, started feeling healthier, right? kept most of my muscle, feeling sharper, feeling more mentally good, not feeling like sad or down, just skin problems gone, everything right. I think the most important thing that you can take from this video is, you know, if you're going to copy this diet or do anything like that, is just eat whole foods, unprocessed foods, right? Don't be eating cereals, don't be eating cookies, don't be eating all this processed junk food. And don't, like, you know, I'm not saying never eat it, right? On a Sunday like tomorrow, I might have like some processed foods, right? Like some ice cream or something like that that's got all kinds of shit in it, right? But it's a treat, it's a treat. You need to treat yourself, otherwise it's not going to be sustainable with this diet, right? You're just going to cave in and you're just going to start binge eating and you'll just get fat again, right? So you need to like give yourself that one day of the week. That's what I'd suggest. For me, it's a Sunday. For you, it could be like a Friday or something. Just have like one day where you have a bit of a refeed. Maybe you eat like a bit more, you know, still track it and stuff into like your calorie tracker and things if you know, try to lose fat. But yeah, just the biggest thing I can give you is just don't eat processed junk food. And then just finally, some of the like little snacks that I'll eat and things like that to, you know, curb my cravings. You know, if I'm feeling a bit peckish or whatever, I'll eat like on a Sunday or something, I'll eat some ice cream. So I love ice cream. I'll get some chocolate ice cream. Like, yeah, I'll have like 600 calories in it. I'll just eat the whole tub, right? And that's not like good. You know, I've just been talking about not eating processed food and stuff, but this is like the treat. So that's something that I like to eat. A lot of the times during the week when I'm being more strict and I'm, you know, not eating any processed foods and I'm just like not eating any breakfast, on a night, sometimes I'll eat beef jerky because I try and keep it keto. So the only issue with it is it's expensive, man. It is expensive, but that's something that I eat. I'll just go to the shops and get like a little bag of it and just eat that. What are some of the snacks that I eat? Yeah, sometimes just like nuts. I think I mentioned nuts, but sometimes I'll just eat like a handful of nuts. There's quite a lot of calories in it though, so just be careful you don't go overboard with the nuts. Fruit as well, just try and keep it till after I've done most of my work because there's a lot of like sugar and stuff in fruit, and you know, if you eat fruit it does massively spike your insulin, which is gonna like, you know, make you feel tired, make you feel shitty. So yeah, just don't have fruit like in the morning, I'd say, if you've got stuff that you need to do throughout the day. I think that's about it in terms of like snacks and things. I don't really snack too much because again, I try. Another tip, this is the last piece of advice I'll give you. If you're someone who's very prone to snacking and you just like go downstairs and you raid the fridge, you know, like 12 o'clock at night, you get out of your bed and you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just go to the fridge and eat whatever the fuck I can see, ham, cheese, everything, right? You just eat whatever you can see. What I'd suggest and what I've started doing is just like making a hot drink on a night. So, you know, boil the kettle, get like a nice like green tea or like a normal tea, but have it like black, like decaf, obviously because it's nighttime, or like a black coffee that's decaf as well. Like this is on a night I'm talking about when I'm snacking. And I'll have that. And this isn't like a piece of advice that I'm saying you should necessarily take, but I have these little nicotine like pouches that like go in my lip. Like, I think it's called like Zyn or whatever. They're not called Zyn over here, but I know in America they're called Zyn. Now, I'm not saying you should do this, but I was like a nicotine addict, like smoke. I used to smoke a lot, right? Like cigarettes and vape and stuff. And I stopped doing all that and I just like, but I'm still like addicted to nicotine. So this is like, isn't a good thing that I'm doing, but I'm still addicted to nicotine. So what I can do is put one of them in and like have like a hot drink. And that for me curbs my like snack cravings, because like the hot drink mixed with the nicotine, I don't know, it just stops me feeling like hungry when I want to snack and things like that. So maybe that's like a tip you could take. I'm not saying you should like get onto nicotine if you're not already on nicotine, right? Only if you're already like vaping or whatever, maybe do that. But yeah, hot drink and nicotine, that's what helps me anyway. That's what I do on a night. So yeah, that's pretty much the diet that I'm on. It's allowing me to lose fat. It's allowing me to like keep my muscle, maybe even build a little bit of muscle, hitting PRs, you know what I mean? So it's going well. And I'm going to see how long I can stay on it for. Obviously, it's not perfect. I'm going to keep like perfecting it as I go. I've been on it for about 6 months now. It started off like a lot more strict than what it is now. I've started introducing foods back into it slowly, like, you know, the treat on a Sunday and like maybe some like veg and things like that. And yeah, it's going well. So might make another one of these videos like this in like maybe a couple months time, like if anything changes and, you know, if there's like still good results coming from it. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully that helped you and you got some value out of that. Maybe you could use some of these tips to help you on your fitness journey. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, mate. A bit of a longer video today. But yeah, see you in a bit, man. Bye.